Hey everybody, this is Mike Felbauer from the Flagler County Drug Court Foundation, coming to you from the Flagler Voice Podcast Studios here in Palm Coast, the Flagler Voice Podcast Studio. And in my studio today, I have a very special guest. And as I said a little earlier, all my guests are special and in their individual ways. They all bring a different voice to this particular broadcast, The Road to Recovery. And it's all about how we help people in our community on that voyage that they're on. So today I'd like to introduce you to Doreen Markham. Doreen comes to us from Dewey World out in the western part of the county. So Doreen, say hi and tell us a little bit about what's going on and what Dewey World is all about.
Okay. Hello, everyone. So Dewey World, we've expanded it to a 501c3, which is now Dewey World Recovery Community. It's a collaboration of different resources that we've gained, relationships that we've gained in allowing transitional housing for individuals that need recovery and different support systems. It began in the 80s with my husband's grandfather, and it grew from there. He started with just a bonfire AA meeting in his backyard. Then he brought other individuals in for sober camping during the bike weeks and Biketoberfest. And he ended up buying a couple other properties that were all connected together and started to expand his vision for allowing a sober environment for individuals to live. And he built a clubhouse, which is now our clubhouse that we have our AA meetings. We have prayer meetings. We're getting ready to introduce Recovery Church out there.
Fantastic.
So we're looking at that expansion in different ways, both in a Christ-centered recovery and a secular recovery, because we try to help everyone that's in recovery.
That's good. I know you have a background, just not in the campground out there. You have a background in this for some of the work that you've been doing over the years. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yes, so I've been in the medical field for over 20 years. I've worked in so many different areas. I worked in a mental health and detox facility in Ohio for a short time and helped assist in different aspects there. And that's where I first dipped my toe in. And then from there, I've worked in emergency departments. And for recovery, we would have sober living associates come in and give us their information. So if anybody came in that had overdosed or is looking for recovery, I try to open that door for them and give them those informations, those resources when I was working in the emergency department. Then in 2020, we lost a son at the age of 16 to a fentanyl poisoning. And that became a very hard, drastic, wow, this is really, nobody's safe. Nobody is safe. It touches everybody, whether it's a family member, a friend, even our children. And with that, had conversations with him, have conversations with your kids, with my kids, I've had conversations, don't take something that's given to you. They're putting the fentanyl in something as innocent as a gummy bear.
Yeah, we try to tell people today with their youngsters particularly, and whether you're young or old, doesn't matter. Don't take anything from even a friend because they might not know what they're giving you.
Exactly.
They might have gotten it from somebody. Right now, there are more unintentional overdoses going on in the world because of this than any other time in our history.
Yes.
People are taking, like you said, they're making candy out of it.
Yep.
And kids are used to it, because I heard also if a child is in the hospital with serious pain issues, they'll give them fentanyl medically,
Mm-hmm.
and it can be in a candy form.
Mm-hmm.
So they could get out and not think, okay, well, this is just candy. This is okay. So there's a lot of things that the public has to learn
Yes.
about what's going on currently in our world. I try to explain to people in our county here in Flagler County that in the last 6-7 years, we were the second to 10th highest overdose county in the state of Florida based on population.
Yes.
And at one point in time, we were the highest overdose death county
Yes.
based on population. We've seen a decrease in that. We did see a decrease. Now, recently, we've seen an increase again. So it's an up and down. Our sheriff does a great job at trying to close down drug houses, stop people coming through, because we're right on 95, so the drug traffic is going by us on a
Yes.
daily basis. But it requires the community to be aware of what's going on. And we also try, and I think you guys play a big part in this, in what you're doing out at Dewey World. The stigma of somebody that goes through in recovery, because people think everybody that's been an addict or currently an addict or trying to get out, it doesn't matter. They all think of them as criminals.
Yes.
Okay, that they made a bad choice, and that's that. Don't worry about it. Well, the choice for the first time might have been a choice, but it wasn't a choice because they wanted to try to become an addict. It was a choice because at some point in time they were trying to cover some kind of pain in their life that no one else had been able to deal with for them. Okay, and a friend will come up and say, "Hey, take this. It'll relax you. It'll take that. It'll let you work on." And no, because each of us are different, and some of us can do some of that a little bit and get away with it, but that's not the fact of the world. You might not know that somebody in your family has been addicted to some type of substance that you're trying to use now to help you, and that DNA can go 7 generations forward.
Yes.
Doesn't mean everybody in those generations is going to get hooked if they try something, but the odds are that can be that way.
Yes.
So if you've had a parent that was addicted to a particular drug or alcohol, and as far as I'm concerned, there is no difference. Okay? We knew that because there was people in our family that had that we had to let our people in our family know going forward, you have the control of the switch. But the other side of that is we also have to understand that if there is trauma in life, we have to be able to work and try to find help for those people.
Right. Recovery is not just based off of, addiction or alcoholism. It could be recovery from childhood trauma. It could be recovery from, even church hurt. It can be recovery from any traumatic, event that has happened in your life. Mental health is a big aspect of addiction as well. Someone is taking, a drug in order to help themselves with their mental health, and it's a way they find that outlet. But it's not intentional to end up becoming addicted to that. It's because somewhere along the way, our healthcare system has failed with mental health. And I have seen that, and it's really important for me personally that mental health and recovery or a substance use disease are hand in hand and both need to be treated. Because you can't treat one and not have that pop up in a different way. It's best to treat both.
You're 100% correct. I tell people in the 12 years that I've been doing what I do here, I've never met one person that had a desire to become an addict. That was not what got them to it. Most often, it's what's got them to it has been the trauma in their life. And it could be simple as, and I've learned because I didn't understand this when I first started doing this. A small little child sees their parents fighting.
Yep.
They don't know how to process it. And somehow that stayed there for a while, and they don't even understand what was bothering them. So we have to have a better understanding of this. When I first started getting involved in the world of recovery here in Flagler County, it was Pastor Charles who got me into it, so I can blame him. Originally, I was volunteering at the food pantry. I'd retired. I was here, would do something, give back. And then his decision was, because he's always wanted to help people, period. That's,
Yes.
I think, the biggest part of his ministry, though he does a really good job as a church leader and a preacher. He's great. He's a teacher, phenomenal. But his greatest desire is to help people. That's why the food pantry is as successful as it is now. And then he decided he wanted to open up a recovery facility. I'm an administrator, so I help do that and get Open Door Reentry and Recovery Ministry going in our first house, which at that point was just for men. And that's what got me involved in it. We took our original participants from drug court, and then we found out that that was very difficult because Open Door had a very extensive program that they had to get involved with, particularly in the beginning, and so did drug court. So our participants were working two very substantial programs at the same time, and it made it more difficult. So Pastor Charles decided at that point in time he's no longer going to take drug court participants. He'll vet them directly from the jail or from other sources. And the drug court asked me to stay on there. So it has worked out beneficially because now we come from two different areas, but we're still helping in the community. And we need more help in our community to do this.
Yes.
So it isn't all about me, or it isn't all about Open Door. It isn't all about X, Y, or Z. It's about all of us working for the same situation and helping in the blessings and the skills that God has given us individually to do that. And that's, I think that's what we see coming from you guys.
Well, that's definitely appreciated. So you were talking about drug court and, other programs that they're in. One of the things that I did, and I believe it was Mr. D from drug court, he sent me the contract for drug court, what the responsibilities were of the participants. So I took that information, and a lot of what our contract is for our program at Dewey World comes from that. So we're not giving them too much for them to handle. We are trying to base our program that we have in alignment with what drug court has set for them. Because like you said, it becomes too much if you have two different programs that they have to go through. And you don't want to stress anybody out more than they already are.
You got that right.
So I looked through, I read, it's a big packet.
Yes,
it is a big packet. And I've pulled quite a bit, and, it helped me build that program that we have at Dewey World. We have different phases, I believe just as drug court does. They have phases. So it's a common goal, is that cohesiveness with our resources and that common goal to help others excel, help others see that they can live independently in their sobriety. And that's one of the things we push at Dewey World. I'm in the process of working and building relationships with local government officials. I'm looking at education. Can we help people get their GED? Can we help them get a technical degree or diploma? If they already have that, what can we do to help them advance resume writing, teaching them how to cook? These are all parts of the program that we have out there that is being implemented with our participants. And that's really important. And then, of course, always making sure they understand they're doing a good job. They really are. If they're going through these programs, and drug court's very hard. And there's a lot of responsibility and accountability. At Dewey World, it's the same thing. They have responsibility and accountability.
That's great, and they need that. There's no question about it. And we tell prospective participants in drug court that it is a difficult program to follow. But I also say, okay, it's not as difficult in being an active addiction.
Mm-hmm.
It's different, okay? You do have responsibilities. You do have goals that you've set to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
And your group and our group, we're there to help them get through those goals, okay? It sounds like you're going to be doing a lot of things that we do at the Drug Court Foundation, and I'm not saying that I think that's good because we need more people to do it. I mean, we help people with their GEDs, we help them with job training and all those kinds of things too. But if they're out there with you, that makes it a whole lot easier. Okay, so we're developing relationships.
Yes.
You develop a group of relationships with the people that are out there. We develop the relationships that are people here. And so we're helping in the areas that we know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a recovery specialist, though if we have somebody that's on board that does that, we want that way in case they're not getting it someplace, they can get from us.
Yes.
And I'm sure you're going to have the same thing out there. You
Yes.
need peer recovery specialists, certified peer recovery people out there.
Mm-hmm.
We need far more in our county than are out there currently,
Yes.
because there's just not enough. And we've now nationally are starting to really understand that people that are certified peer recovery specialists who have come through that, won the T-shirt, got that done, are a major part of the support system for recovery.
Yes.
It's the way it is.
Mm-hmm. I absolutely agree. Mm-hmm.
So going from there to where you are now, when you guys and Sean came to our drug court meeting a week or two ago, I can't remember what day of the week it is anymore now, you explained to us there's a new project going on out there. Can you go into that with us?
Oh, absolutely. So there is a new project going on, and the new project is expansion. There are so many individuals, of course, in Flagler County that need help, need the assistance, need that transitional housing. So we have 6 acres. So we have began clearing our land. Not all of it, because we love some of them trees. So we're clearing land, and we're making the community where we will have tiny homes, but they're going to be shed tiny homes. So they're going to be furnished and finished on the inside. And on the outside, there'll be like a little porch. So it's going to be a comfortable place. So we're looking to build relationships on getting those as well. We're looking at different sponsorships for that. So we can offer a stable environment for individuals. The goal is also co-ed. We will have a section for the men, a section for the women. We're looking at...
Are you going to have a real tall fence electrified in between the two?
No.
Okay.
No.
It was just a thought.
Yeah, I can understand that. But we do have security out there. We have security cameras to keep eye on things because the property is big. So we do have that already in place, and that's going to be expanded as well. And the women's section is going to be closer to the restrooms, closer to the amenities, because I'm a woman, and I know I wouldn't want to walk in the dark to use the restroom or something like that. So they would be closer to the clubhouse where the restrooms are. And then with that, we're also working on building our website. God willing, our website will be finished and go live August 1st. So it'll have our story. It'll have the legacy of Dewey, where we were, where we are, where we're going based on our strategic plan. Because we have a 5-year strategic plan.
Excellent.
And, we'll have our application, our intake form, a waiting list, and different resources that individuals going to the website can find.
That's fantastic. Something just slipped in my head. I was going to ask you, but I forgot. But that plan is what we definitely need.
Mm-hmm.
there's a great shortage of safe housing for people in the world of recovery right now.
Yes.
And from the drug court perspective, we look at it even more because in order to be a drug court participant, you have to have a legal Flagler County address.
Yes.
If you don't, you can't get into the program. And the program works.
It does.
Our success rate is extremely high. Non-recidive rate, people not getting rearrested for drug-related incidents for we can measure out to typically about 2 years is what the program looks at. And of course, we can look even further. But our success rate's up in the 70 percentile. So that's really extreme. We're blessed here in our county because our drug court is not as large as some of the other counties, so we can more personalize the care and treatment of the participants coming in. We're blessed to have a gentleman by Mr. John Diagardi as our drug court coordinator who does an absolute phenomenal job. But the whole team between probation, the state's attorney, the public defender's office, our judge, they care about people.
Yes.
Most of those people, it was a job that they were assigned to. Except for Mr. Diagardi, he applied for that job and got it. But the attorneys and those, they're told by their head of their departments, okay, this is going to be yours. And in several cases over the 12 years I've been doing it, I know those people, when they got that, they weren't happy about it. But after a short period of time to see what they could see and the progress, you couldn't pull them away. You just couldn't, because then they got that personal involvement. They get to see the benefit. You take somebody that had been arrested and it had to be a felony arrest that had something to do in one fashion or another. It could have been because it was a B&E because they needed money to buy the drugs. It could have been a DUI, several DUI. It could have been any number of things. And you see them when they come in. And then you can look back and see the results. I know you were at our graduation here a week and a half ago, and you saw the people that were graduating, and then you also saw one of our long-term graduates that graduated probably 5, 6, maybe 7 years ago. And the difference, because we get to see them when they come in. We get that initial mugshot, you know what I mean? And then we see the changes. And as far as I'm concerned, it's what keeps us still involved. Because you know, as I know, being involved in this world of recovery is like being, it's like being bipolar, because we get excited when we see the progress, and then we get that phone call.
Right.
And it's all part of it, but it's the progress that keeps us going, keeps us wanting to stay in it and do it.
Yes.
People come up to me and others in the program and say, well, why do you do this? You're retired. You could do something else. I said, it's become a calling.
Yeah.
I want to see more people succeed in the program. And though I'm not the treatment person, okay, but if I can get our team together to find better places to do this, our relationship that we've built with Dewey World has been a part of that.
Yeah, it's a great relationship, and I honestly believe that working with Drug Court Foundation has been part of God's plan.
I got to agree.
It is. You know, we have those valleys. Everybody has those valleys, right? And it's all about, we're in that valley for a season, but we're planting those seeds and they're being watered. And once we get to that mountaintop and we get through all of it and we look back down in that valley, we see the most beautiful flowers, you know? So it's like God put us in that season for a reason.
And I have another view of the valley. It's where most of the work is done.
Yes.
Okay. So if we spend all the time on the top of the mountain, it would be for us. But to get back down into the valley to where the work is, that's what we need to do. We need that relief to get up on the mountain once in a while. We do need that. But the work is in the valley. Yes. And that's where we go from there. So I'm so pleased to have you with us today. And to talk about what's going on. I know we didn't want to spend a whole lot of time with what went on with your son, but that I'm sure has had a major part in your life.
It has.
And we go from there. So we are about ready here to wrap up for the day.
Okay.
We're going to want to have you come back and talk about progress.
Okay.
When you get that first shed out there, I want to hear about it.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
And folks, if you're listening to this and you have a skill that can help out there, when they start getting these new facilities, they're going to need people out there to help put the walls up,
Yes.
put the insulation in,
Yes.
put the air conditioners on.
Yes.
So if you're available to do that, how is the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Best way to get a hold of me would either be by text message or phone call. I also have email. My husband, you can contact him by phone call, usually is the best for him. He's a little more old school.
How about giving us some of those numbers?
Yeah, so my phone number is 440-723-1059. My email is D as in David, M as in Michael, ARC as in Charlie, UM as in Michael, at deweyworldrecovery.org. And my husband's phone number is 440-752-1972.
Excellent, excellent. We want to be able to have people get a hold of you.
Yes.
And what's the address out there so that if they wanted to come visit to see what it was all about, how
yes.
did they do that?
Well, I will say to begin with, one of the rules Dewey had is the doors never lock. So it is open all the time. If anybody needs any assistance, they can come. I don't care if it's 3 a.m. I gave the phone numbers out. If you need assistance, call us. We will work with you and get with our resources and get you what you need. But so our address is 1917 Guava Lane, Bunnell. It's out in Daytona North, also AKA Mondex. And like I said, the doors are always open, and we have meetings on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7. Everyone's welcome to those. It doesn't matter.
Those are AA meetings?
They're AA, but we try to be more of we're non-discriminatory. So if you are NA, you can come to those. It doesn't matter. For us, recovery is recovery. It's based off of AA, but then, we welcome everyone for their recovery.
That's great. That's the same way we look at it. Because we know that if you work in any of the 12 steps, whether it's AA or NA, they all came from one place.
Yes.
It's called the Bible.
Yes.
So whatever your choice is, whatever your comfort level is, AA, NA, Celebrate Recovery, whatever group that you have that's supportive of what you're doing, that's what you're welcome to. And
Yes.
we feel the same way here. That's the positive way of going forward. So, Doreen, we're going to call this to a close today. We thank you for being here. We'll look forward to having you come back and give us some updates.
Oh, yeah.
And we look forward to keeping the relationship going between Dewey World and the Drug Court Foundation.
Yes.
So have a great, blessed day.
You too.